Good morning, welcome to the Inspiration Reports. We'll be getting started in just a few moments. Grab a beverage, it's gonna be a good one. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the April Inspiration Report. What's up, Sean Brown?
Well, Big Lee, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. We are missing our good pal, Jose. Jose has a new business venture in Chile that he is working on this morning. He's opening a cafe and coffee shop, so pretty impressive there. I can't wait to hear how that goes.
Lee, honestly, what doesn't this guy do?
I know, right?
Seriously, I am the most
And that he makes time to be at our show most of the time when he's like this busy is just amazing. So we'll miss Jose today. Sean and I will both be taking the chat box spot, so we will monitor it. We've got Juliet in the chat. Welcome, Juliet. I think we got Laura out there too. Welcome you all. Pretty excited about today. You know, we started this way back in 2020, and we did it because we were inspired by something we used to do at Disney called the Buzz Report and Creative Couch. We used to host about 100 people in a room, and I know they still do it on the West Coast. Don't think they still do it on the East Coast, but the reason we do this is to inspire your thinking. We gather to, I say we, but Sean is our awesome curator, and he gathers some of the most innovative, coolest, most inspiring thing. So, Sean, really great job. I'm going to applaud you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think what I love the most, Sean, is that you gather some really diverse things. Like, it's not just marketing campaigns that you're looking at. You go to some great lengths to get some feel-good stuff. You get some, some eco stuff, some manufacturing stuff, whatever it may be. What inspires you to go out and get this stuff? Where do you start?
Oh man, so I actually get about 31 different newsletters, and I don't read them all. There's no way, right? But I scan them quick, and then following a bunch of channels on Instagram, I just continue to come across great stuff. But what I save everything. So it's actually ridiculous because the scroll on like Facebook saves or LinkedIn saves, it literally, I just keep going like this. It's ridiculous. I don't read it all, but it's just trying to see as much stuff as we can because this is like your best ideas come from the shower, right? Because there's nothing bombarding your mind at that moment. So hopefully this 60 minutes, right, just before lunch is kind of a lunchtime.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and you know what? We tell people that in our creative sessions too. We say that when you go to get those ideas in the shower, you need some stimulus in your brain. So hopefully this is the stimulus that you need to kind of fill those pockets in your brain and get those big ideas when you least expect them. So, all right, we are going to go back to the presentation here really quick. This is a little what we call inspiration in a box to help you see outside of yours. We're the modern day Wayne and Garth broadcasting from our basements. Everything looks good. All the duct tape is in place. All the plugs are in. So hopefully everything will be good to go there. Sorry we'll miss Jose today, but he will be back next month, we hope. Rules as usual. Keep it positive and open-minded. Share the air in the chat. Of course, be respectful to everyone. We want you to build in yes and. This is an important thing, especially if you've had some experience in the things that we're showing. So yes and if you've seen applications of the stuff, or if you think of an idea or an application of the stuff that we show you. And please, please, please pay it forward. We have We have a link tree that has all of the articles that Sean will post in the chat. Hopefully, Sean, I think you actually already did, but maybe copy and paste it again. That'd be great. So we want to make sure you pay it forward. And of course, we want to have a lot of fun. Having fun is really the way to go, and the way to kind of get more ideas. Being playful is really important. It helps your brain, kind of makes a connection between your what do you call it, your conscious and your subconscious brain. So we want you to definitely have a little bit of fun. Sean, anything that you'd add before we get rolling here?
Great opportunity to put your email away, turn off your phone, shrink down Teams, close Slack, right? As much as you can. Just take this all in, because certainly something's going to inspire you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Without further ado, we are going to get started here. This is an amazing thing. And Sean, thank you very much for finding it. So, the Helvellyn is the third highest peak in UK's Lake District. Every year, millions of people flock to the region to climb its mountain. But what if something goes wrong? I've had friends before. My good buddy JR over at Yellow Shoes, he had an issue on the top of a mountain in Washington, and he had to get helicopter rescued. But wow. The Great North American Ambulance Service is a charity that provides incredible helicopter rescue, but when the weather gets rough, a helicopter can't always make the journey. This guy, Richard Browning from Gravity Industries, which is an aeronautical company, he has the solution. Jet suits are really the speediest way to reach people in need. After just 6 days of training, a paramedic named Jamie used one of the Gravity suits to fly up Helvellyn for the first time ever. This journey, which normally would take about an hour and 20 minutes on foot, was cut to just 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Sean.
Unbelievable.
And flying with the jetpack. Come on. All right, you got a video here that's kind of going to tell us a little about. Plus, it's got a nice little soundtrack. So let's check out the video.
Good.
Wow, Andy's to the top. Yeah, my goodness. Amazing. I see other applications for jetpacks in mountains. So, like I'm thinking of the scene in Spy Who Loved Me when he goes off the cliff, skis all the way down, goes off the cliff. Hey, instead of a parachute, how about a jetpack?
Exactly.
Well, I wonder if it works the same though in open air like that, or if it's just it has to be close, because he was pretty close to the ground the whole time. So apparently, Gravity's 1,000 horsepower jet suit works with thrusters on the pilot's back and 2 small jet engines on each arm, forming a stable tripod shape of power. After several years of development, the suits no longer require a large amount of upper body strength. He likens the feeling to one of learning, one to leaning on a table with straight arms. Sounds interesting. So far, more than 500 people of varying sizes and fitness have all learned to fly the jet suits. Some have even mastered it in just a day. So, wow, super, super awesome.
I wonder when this will become a tourist attraction on 192 in Orlando.
Yeah, I see that happening too.
I know.
All right, let's talk about Blockbuster. Come on, we see them in the Super Bowl. They spent millions of dollars on whatever it is that they were doing, their ad, and what's going on?
This is our TMZ story of the month, right? Complete speculation. It is what we're going to call it Blockbuster Gate. Who knows what's going on? But the premise here is that Blockbuster.com was gone. It was dark or shut down or whatnot,
Yeah.
but it came back to life just recently with just the single page and the single image. Blockbuster, we are working on rewinding your movie. So like Blockbuster heads and people are starting to totally speculate, like, is it coming back? What are they going to do?
Yeah. What are they
Um,
doing?
I
I mean,
mean,
this is the ultimate teaser campaign. So I love teaser campaigns. However, teaser campaigns you get emotionally invested in. So I remember specifically a teaser campaign along Interstate 4 when I used to live downtown,
yeah,
commuting to Disney, and it was like 2 months, and and they were really compelling. And at the
right,
end, it revealed to be like a local plumbing company or something like that.
right.
And it was like,
Painted green.
wow, you all outdid yourself, but I felt disappointed. So I sure hope that this is the reward here is going to be good.
I know, and well, unfortunately, there's a pretty good chance that you may have solved it, and I'm afraid we're going to see the website change to Blocked Up Buster, and it's for a plumbing company, right? Who
Yeah.
said that?
It could be, whoever happened to buy it.
But
Well,
Lee,
we know that whoever bought the rights to this actually has money for if they're spending money on a Super Bowl commercial, right? So
right, right.
let's. I guess the thing that I would hope that it isn't another larger company that is kind of making a joke out of it. I hope they actually do this and do something that's going to surprise us all. So let's.
I would love Lee, like I think you would agree with this. I think it would be really cool to somehow bring in-person social experience back to picking out movies, right? Everything's streaming, of
Yeah,
course, right? But there still is something about the same reason of going to a bookstore and just browsing,
yeah,
but to be able to do it with your friend or partner, I
yep.
don't know. There's something really interesting to think about with this.
Well, and the experience, waiting by the exit for the good movies to come in, you would always look ask the person, "Hey, was that any good? Should I get that?" And they're like, "No, no, no." And that doesn't happen in streaming, right?
No,
So
no,
yeah, a
no,
more to come on this, and we will definitely, we will keep track of this story, right,
we
Sean?
will. We are
This is
all over this breaking news.
this is our TMZ story. All right, thank you for giving me this one, Sean.
You know you love
This
this.
is amazing. So I'm a huge Mark Hamill fan, as you all know. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and Mark Hamill has publicly gone out for the Ukraine and has done a lot of back work for them and a lot of charity work. And he's now lent his voice to Ukrainian air raid app to warn citizens of incoming attacks during the ongoing conflict with Russia. It says, "Attention, air raid alert. Proceed to nearest shelter," says Hamill. And then he says, "The alert is over. May the force be with you."
Freaking love
Which he's basically using his beloved Luke Skywalker characters with recognizable quotes and lines like "Don't be careless. Your overconfidence is your weakness," or
yes.
things like that. And he's done a lot of these contributions, but for him to reach out like this is pretty incredible. I thought of another one, Sean. This reminds me a little bit of Tokyo Rose. So in World War II, there was a Japanese radio broadcaster that would taunt American soldiers.
Yes.
And I think that he should now use his Joker voice. So some of you who may not know, Mark Hamill was the single best Joker next to Heath Ledger. He did the voiceover Joker in the animated series for many years and all of the video games, and it was haunting. So I think that he should start that radio for Russia and start taunting them with the
Oh my
Joker
God.
voice. Come on.
Yes. I
That's a
love
nice
that.
build. If you've ever listened to him being the Joker, it's again definitely haunting stuff. He does a great voiceover. So the voiceover was first announced last year alongside a partnership between Air Alert and United 24, a global initiative for collecting charitable donations to support Ukraine. Hamill is an ambassador for United 24, which was launched by Ukrainian President Zelensky in May 2022. So good for Mark Hamill and Sean. Again, thank you for posting this.
May the force be with you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you, and also with you. Okay.
Okay. Uh, I hate my lawn. Okay. I
Let's
hate
paint
lawn
it,
care.
man. Let's do it.
I hate it. And I don't know why when we moved from Rhode Island, right? I just think it's a different New England type of thing. You buy a house and you get as big of a plot of land as you can because you need to have a big yard. So 20 years of pain for me taking care of the grass here. So I'm sure quickly everyone can start thinking, well, yeah, that's fantastic, saves water, and that's kind of the point. but it has quickly been taking off to small businesses of literally painting lawns green when the grass is dead.
Yeah.
It's becoming even more popular with inflation impacting households, trying to save money, everything with drought and water usage, and in the South, just changing weather patterns with ice freezing temperatures, killing grass, so on and so forth. But this one gentleman, he had lost his job from a landscape company, and he started to actually get a call about painting lawns. So he jumped into it, and his business took off where it usually costs about $250 to $350. His teenage daughter, of course, went to TikTok.
Oh, wow. Got him a bunch of business.
Right. 3.7 million views. His company is doing very well. He's trained 20 other people to start businesses. But ultimately, as people might be thinking, okay, it looks good, but like one person said, it doesn't feel as good as it looks, and my dog's feet come in green in the house.
Oh, the poor dogs. Yeah, we got to work on that.
So
and does it include like a little bit of fertilizer to actually help your lawn when it does come back? That would be kind of the best of both worlds, right?
Great question. Did not see that. I think it literally is about, you are literally shifting from taking care of grass to covering it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's kind of a carryover from when we first started thinking about suburban lifestyle in the 60s and 70s, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't think as eco-friendly as we do now. And is it really right to make, put a homeowners association thing and make people keep their lawn green, because it takes so many resources just to do that. And so
Right.
it seems like it's morphing, and hopefully this might be an interim solution. But they've already switched to rocks in many Southern California homes. I've
Yes.
visited many homes there, and they don't have grass anymore. They have rocks and cactuses.
Why not?
So
Right? Makes total sense.
I got to tell you another funny story. This reminds me of Sean, but during my 50th birthday party back in 2017, my roommates had let the pool turn green, and I was having a pool party. So I cleaned that pool as best I could, but I went and got some blue dye and poured that stuff in there, and nobody was so wiser. It was clean, trust me. It probably faded bathing suits when I jumped in, but
Yeah.
I just painted the pool green or pool blue. So,
That's hilarious.
well
Well done.
all right. Eco-friendly too, I suppose. Okay, this is really great. I love that you pulled this. I love it when people think differently about ordinary things. And as much as I say that there might not be any new ideas, just ideas that are kind of regurgitated. This is a little bit of a regurgitated idea, but still, really great move on Oscar Mayer. So Oscar Mayer has actually entered the wedding business with the Wienermobile of Love. It announced it'll soon help soon-to-be newlyweds seal the deal in Las Vegas with a limited-time wedding chapel. And it's designed to encourage elopement, so couples can book a 30-minute time slot in April to be wed in front of a romantically inspired Wienermobile, which will be situated outside of the iconic Little White Wedding Chapel. All expenses minus travel will be paid. The move is, of course, an extension of the brand's Keep It Oscar platform, which is supported by research indicating that 72% of couples report feeling stressed about wedding planning. The effort makes the Kraft Heinz brand one of the latest to insert itself in the nuptials experience. Of course, we all know that my good pals at Taco Bell have been doing that roughly since 2016. So one of my family members actually got married at the Taco Bell Cantina there in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Everybody received little pillows that had sauce packets on it, which is really cool. But this Keep It Oscar thing is pretty cool. Couples interested and married under the supervision of the brand hot doggers can apply online. As of the time of this article, it appears that applications are being put on a wait list. So they obviously are sold it out. Who knows? They may actually do it permanently. But here you go. You thought you saw everything, Sean.
But Lee, the one statement: romantically re-inspired Wienermobile. Seriously, that is not an overpromise. I mean,
yeah. There's so many jokes there. Juliet says they're in the market for wedding options. This is a pass. Oh, come on, Juliet. You got this. Well, lucky for you, they're only doing it for 2 days. So, but you actually could look into the Taco Bell option. My niece Emily and her wife Michaela got married there, and I wasn't there. I was in South Africa, but apparently everybody there had a great time. So,
There you
really,
go.
really awesome. All right, next up, Binge Travel.
Yes, and we've probably all actually been hearing about this, but it was great seeing the article that basically streaming in what. Yeah, don't let me try to solve for it. Streaming shows are having significant impact on people's choice for travel.
Yep.
So destinations are literally being, I don't want to say overrun, but high level of traffic because people love the shows so much that they want to travel and go there.
Yeah.
A report from American Express in their travel area, 70% of Gen Z and millennial travelers say they've been inspired to travel to a destination after seeing it on screen. It's almost as high as the impact of social media. 75% of respondents said they traveled to places after seeing friends and others post about their trips. Quote, travelers are being increasingly inspired by pop culture.
Yeah. Is that the whole reason the Hawaii Five-O show was remade?
Right?
Hawaii wasn't feeling the tourism, and all of a sudden, boom, we got a show.
So just as a measurement, for White Lotus, the first season was at the Four Seasons Resort in Maui, and web traffic to the Four Seasons Maui site increased 425% year over year during season 1 alone.
Wow. Yeah, it seems like a pretty much of a no-brainer in travel to
Yep.
try to secure some product placement in a
So
streaming television show.
if you are a property manager of some location or a travel and tourism board, I would start pitching streaming channels.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Make a show at your property. Anyway.
Absolutely. Okay. This is another one I wish Jose was here to present. This is a company called Suit. It's opening the world's first mashed banana factory to fight food waste. So, having made a long journey from Central America to Dutch ports, an average of 120 million kilograms of bananas are destroyed on arrival annually, purely for cosmetic reasons. And the fruit may have started ripening along the way or been bruised or scratched or something. The Dutch fruit brand called Sunt built its business on turning rescue bananas into sweet treats. Now they're scaling up by constructing a mashed banana factory itself. To source its raw material, they're working with a company called Fiefs, one of the world's largest banana distributors. And in the banana factory, the fruit is automatically peeled, sorted, ripened if necessary, and then mashed. And then they won't just be using the puree for its own banana bread, granola, or baked donuts. They will also supply it to other food makers. So a great way to, again, use those ugly fruits that no one wants to buy, instead of wasting them, to actually put it to good use. And again, I know Jose would have loved to present this. He is all about sustainability and repurposing and reduce, reuse, recycle. Right?
Absolutely. I'm still blown away, Lee, by the volume, right? The volume of food, never mind food waste, but just food that's discarded because it doesn't look pretty. It's just insane to me, right?
Yeah.
Really.
And you know what? Actually wasn't as conscious of that until I married a farmer. And my farmer family is very cognizant of, there's no such thing as waste in our family. And
Brilliant.
my wife's threshold for eating leftover food is much further than mine. But I've actually been accustomed to it now, and I really don't like wasting food anymore. And this is a great example of it. We shouldn't, right? You know, I mean, my mom used to say there's starving people in some other country to motivate me, but it's working now. Now I see the reality of it. So,
and we got another story coming up that ties to this, which is interesting too.
Okay, go for
it. So this one, woo-wee. It's never, drinking and driving obviously is very dangerous, and we hope no one follows suit. But it could be, in a different way, dangerous for one to drink and shop. So there is a unique.
Not that I have any experience in that, Sean, at all.
All right.
There's a name for this. Sorry, I would interrupt you, but there's a name for that. I call it primnesia. So it's when all the boxes show up your front door, and you're like, "What did I order?"
Right.
Never done that before. Go
Hey,
ahead.
honey, the Prime guy delivered to the wrong house again.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, wait, he didn't.
That new stereo. I didn't order that. That's what I'm
Right.
talking about.
So I love the opening line in this. It says, alcohol hits us all differently. Some people get silly, others get angry or overly affectionate. And some people pull out their credit cards and start buying things they probably don't need. Last year, an estimated 45 million people ran up some 14 billion
Oh
in
my
drunk
god. In
purchases.
drug shopping purchases, man.
Drunk shopping purchases. So you're probably thinking, well, what were some frequently purchased items? Food and clothing. They were tied for most frequently purchased. 47% of drunk shoppers admitted to buying both of those. 34% bought more alcohol. That sounds like a good decision. And
That
cigarettes,
sounds like a great decision.
and probably used Uber Deliver, right, or whatever. And others decided to gamble.
Oh,
Other purchases were a little more surprising. 19% admitted to buying a pet when tipsy.
whoa. Getting
16%
serious
went
there.
shopping for art. That can be expensive, and beauty is in the eye of the beer holder. And the same percentage of people ended up buying a new car.
Yeah, I kind of wish they had, there's functions on Gmail, for example, that let you withdraw an email within like 5 minutes or something like that. And there's also functions for drunk texting. So it's basically you going out, you set the button, and you can't text until you wake up in the morning or something like that. So
Honestly, Apple
I
should just build it into their control screen where
yeah,
you
they
can
don't
turn.
want to. $14 billion. Amazon, that's the last thing they want to do, you know?
That's right. Anyway,
Yeah.
just interesting, interesting stuff.
That is very interesting. I noticed a comment in the chat from Liz, Pinot and Prime. And actually, Liz actually is benefiting from our drunk shopping because she does work for Amazon. So, Liz, you're welcome. Your
She is
hopefully your 401k will benefit from our silliness.
right. She's literally sending an email to her leadership after lunch today.
Yeah.
Audience insight behavior.
Yep. Okay, moving on. I love your thing here. Polish cat, Polish cat. What are they feeding you?
Thank
A
you.
black and white cat named Gajcik is a top-rated tourist attraction in Szczecin, Poland. The fat feline has a perfect 5-star rating on Google Maps. He has reviews. One reviewer said, "I'm fortunate to meet this distinguished, gentle creature." The name means long-eared bat in Polish. And the rotund feline has actually beaten out other tourist hotspots in that town, including a Pomeranian Duke's castle built in 1346. So, you know,
Can't bet
I
against
wonder if they featured a Gaychick on a what do you call it, a streaming show, if maybe tourism would increase in general. You
That's
know.
right.
This Gajcik first drew international attention when he appeared in the YouTube documentary in 2020. He even began to lure visitors from neighboring Germany, according to notes from Poland. And his previous listing, which had almost 2,600 reviews, according to Mental Floss, has appeared to have been removed. But he's just really popular. Some people have flown all the way from Oslo to see the cat. His appeal isn't as universal. One person gave him a 1-star rating because he stole a sausage. So, well, I mean, if you're offering up sausages, I'm sure he'll be happy. So, his box is located outside a shop whose workers act as his de facto guardians. They recently put up a sign asking that any edible offerings be left in sealed containers. So, if you're headed to Poland and need a tourist attraction, go see Gajcik. He's
There
ready
you
to see
go.
you.
And Lee, I got to say, I was torn between which story to put in here today. So it was either him, or I think it was Scotland that is putting knitted sweaters on sheep and has a social media account, which is driving up interest in travel to Scotland. So
I think it would be a little demeaning for the sheep if they were wool sweaters, though. Come on,
it's a bit
right?
cannibalistic, isn't it?
Yeah, come
Right.
on. All right, tell us about the table bag. I also this inspired me, but for a recent fast food style experience. So please tell us about
Yes.
this.
And just opportunities for innovation, right? We highlighted Mr. Mark King, you're a very good friend in Taco Bell. and their courage and curiosity, right? To just look
Right.
at what we do different in the business and the ATM like delivery of food. So this launched for a short period of time only during Milan Design Week. And part of the challenge in Milan is that it's so packed with 400,000 visitors in the week, it becomes really challenging to find a place to eat and be able to sit.
Yeah.
So
All the time.
McDonald's, what's that?
Yeah, just all the time at any conference or convention. They never have enough seating for you,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. So McDonald's worked with, oh gosh, who was that? Leo Burnett. Of course, they
Hmm.
do good stuff, and they unveiled the table bag, which allows you to create a makeshift table on these like parking poles around the city.
Yeah, I've got a video. Do you want me to show the video, Sean?
Please do. Yep.
Okay, here we go.
McDonald's Italy unveiled Table Bag, a new takeout box that unfolds into a makeshift cardboard table. The fast food company unveiled Table Bag during Milan Design Week, which welcomes over 400,000 visitors every year in Italy's design capital. With such a sizable crowd, it can be difficult to find room for visitors to enjoy a meal. So McDonald's chose to offer an alternative to the usual indoor spaces with tables and chairs. Together with Leo Burnett, the company designed and produced the first ever Table Bag, a limited edition 100% recyclable takeout box that lets people recreate a decent eating space anywhere they like. Table Bag was offered to select lucky customers who ordered their food via the McDonald's application during Milan Design Week. For more videos on marketing,
Yeah, super cool, right?
Fantastic.
This totally reminded me. I want to send this idea to Buc-ee's, and I know Bucky. If you've ever been, have you ever been to Buc-ee's? We have one in the closest one we have is in Daytona. So Buc-ee's is basically a supercharged gas station, right? But they have this huge store that has the wall of jerky, and they have the best brisket around, right? So after a weekend in Daytona, we stopped at Buc-ee's, and I charged right in for my brisket, and I was waiting for my family to do all their shopping. I came out, and there's no place to sit at Buc-ee's. I'm sure by design they want people just to take their stuff and go. But
Right.
man, if you gave me a table box, I would have sat outside by the dumpster and had this thing.
Now, Lee, just as an experiment, right? You and I talked about this. This is such a simple, perfect example of applying design thinking, right? There's a consumer need, there's a
Yep.
challenge. This was a limited time only, right? So they could test this, collect information, and then who knows if they roll it out in different places or more consistently. It's such a great prototype example. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for putting this one in. Okay, another brand that I
You
am
guys,
a big fan of, and thank you,
yes,
Liz, for sending this, is Aldi. Now, I would like to see a show of people that have an Aldi in their area if they've ever shopped at Aldi and or if they're actually scared of shopping at Aldi, because I've talked to both people, right? And Aldi is you have to know how to Aldi, right, Sean? And Sean, you told me you
yes.
don't shop at Aldi, but I discovered it, and I can buy my staple stuff, not the fancy brand stuff, but the staple stuff for probably a quarter of the price that I would have paid at a Publix or a Whole Foods or something like that. So Aldi is kind of capitalizing on that by making gear for their fans, right? And for some reason, this article that you posted here reminded me of Moneyball, because Aldi isn't the big hitter, right? But Aldi can get you to base, right? And
Yes.
so I just thought that this is really great that they're supporting their fans, and they've created basically an expanded line of gear inspired by Aldi fans, combining signature Aldi colors and bold stripes and retro vibes to sell to their fans. It originally launched in 2022. They've added to it. They have a keychain holder, a bucket hat, and the price, like they have a hat which is $3.99 instead of $30 for whatever other hat you're offering. There's a 2-pack of socks. There's an umbrella. There's slides. It's just amazing. The gear collection will be available in stores nationwide within the Aldi finds aisle while supplies last. And it's just, to me, this is a great way to hey, if you're a fan, wear the gear and let's strike up a conversation. Hey, do you Aldi? Do you know how the Aldi? You need a quarter for the cart, and you need to bring your own bags and get ready to bag your own stuff, right? So, Sean, I challenge you to make a list of staple kind of stuff.
Yes.
Like, I'm not talking fancy stuff, just staple kind of stuff. Go look at your last Publix receipt, and then go to Aldi and see how much it cost you.
So in the chat, I think the gauntlet has been revealed. So Cool Cat 4711. Well, she says it's very stressful. Shopping in Aldi is very stressful. But Funny Brown Girl is saying, teach me how to Aldi, or at least find a quarter.
You know what's funny is that I always pay the quarter forward, so I bring plenty of quarters, and like if somebody doesn't have one, I'll hand a quarter out. I mean, I don't want that one quarter to be, the reason that you don't save $100 on your groceries. Also,
Right.
I got to tell you that their eggs are now, their eggs used to be 85 cents, but now they're about 2.10 or something like that, and Publix is charging 49. And don't get me wrong, I love my Publix. I'm not dissing on Publix at all, but if you want some cheaper eggs, go to Ollie. So
Always
there you have it.
options. I don't know, buddy. I think maybe we should do a inspiration report, video capture trip to Aldi and see how we.
See how we do. We should start doing that more often anyway.
I know.
When we actually experience this stuff, we should do like the man on the
Yes.
street interview. So thank you all in the chat for posting.
Love it.
Juliet says we have an internal family joke about all these. Her dad would do this and tell everyone how much money he saved. Yes, you do. I do that too. That's awesome. Thank you all for posting. Okay. Next
Okay.
one.
We'll give everyone a time check. We are on. We've got 4 more stories, including this one. We are working towards 12:30. So this one does not need a lengthy, deep conversation. It's just smart, and every leader from every organization, regardless of size, should do this. So new Starbucks CEO, Mr. I'm going to mispronounce. Narasimhan. He stepped into the role in March 20th. He has deep background in operations and supply chain. And one of the things that he immediately noticed is that Starbucks has too many different cup and lid pairings, for example. It was startling to me how many we have. We've got to fix. We've got things to do to become more disciplined, including Sean learning how to speak. What this gentleman is doing is he started and visited a couple of stores and worked in the stores. And he actually is going to make it a either weekly or monthly part of his position, where he is going to spend up to 4 hours a week in different stores to gain firsthand perspective on what is it like for the consumer and what is the experience.
I love that. I hope though that it's not a big deal, and he surprises them and just really does work, because otherwise
Right.
he might not get the real picture, right? More of an undercover boss kind of situation.
You bet. And Living Life Laura said the same thing. She just referenced undercover boss, and boss is going in. But I like what you're saying. Don't make a big deal of it. Don't use it for ongoing PR.
To me, the walk the talk thing is pretty cool, and to get it firsthand, and also multiple stores. Constantly, when I do stuff for Taco Bell, for example, they bring in employees from different stores around, and different stores have different issues, and listening to the diversity of what those are is the really important part. So hopefully, he also goes to multiple stores in multiple areas just to see what's going on.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Anyway. Really great stuff. And I know there was also an article, I might have it next month. I think it was CEO of Uber, drove some cars and was shocked, surprised, learned a lot about the experience. But we'll pull that in next month.
Sean, there was a time when I had a challenge at Disney where we needed to solve something about tickets on International Drive, and no one in Central Florida who lives in Central Florida goes to International Drive unless you're going to happy hour at Yard House or Brick House and bolting out of there, right?
Right.
So I sent like 10 executives, told them to dress like tourists. I had a couple British people on that. They actually dressed in capri pants. The whole deal was great. And I sent them out there on a hot August day, and they all whined about it. Like, they were like, we don't want to do this, but they did it. And just having that on-the-ground experience and seeing how our guests are experiencing what, I had them ask about asked people about Disney and things like that, and they got a really good spectrum from the guest point of view that they would have just assumed had they not have had that experience. So this is a great recommendations across the board. When you think about design thinking, one of the pieces of it is empathy, and in order to be empathetic to your end user, you have to walk in their shoes and not make assumptions, and not just use your quantitative and qualitative data. Creating immersions and getting the people who are creating stuff for your end user out there to observe, to pretend that they're your end user, is really, really important.
You cannot see the customer experience in a spreadsheet.
No, you definitely can't.
Right.
Or just the insight numbers. You have to go out and experience it. I would
That's
I would
right.
definitely agree. All right, woolly mammoth, baby.
On purpose, Lee, because I'm honestly, I can't look at the picture. I don't know what it is.
So I brought up Moneyball just so we can go from Moneyball to meatball. This company created a meatball from the cells of an extinct woolly mammoth. So traditionally, meat production is a leading stressor on the environment. It's known fact that raising livestock produces an incredible amount of greenhouse gases. We know that. As the world races against time to cut emissions, some companies are doing that part by showing how meat can be produced without livestock, so basically in a test tube. One Australian company has created a meatball from the cells of a woolly mammoth in order to bring attention to the process. Cultivated or cultured meat is the process of creating animal meat via stem cells. The technology first gained attention a decade ago when Dutch pharmacologist Mark Post presented the first meat cultivated burger. Their woolly mammoth meatball here, which actually hasn't been tasted yet. I'm like, I guess they're testing it to make sure no one's going to like turn into a dinosaur or something.
Right.
Was dreamed up as a way to start a conversation about how much meat we consume. So they're not actually producing these to sell or whatever. It's basically just to kind of offer it up. So interesting that there might be some hesitancy on the part of the public to eat a meat produced in a lab. Concerns about the environment and food insecurity makes this technology more important than ever. So hopefully the purpose of this is to start the conversation and see where we kind of go from here. So I don't know, Sean, if it were a little bit different, is there something that would be different that would make you actually try that meatball and not hurl? I mean, the Impossible Burger, they call it the Impossible Burger, but if you've ever had that, I'm a total carnivore. I'm a meatitarian, and I actually tried it one time just to have an open mind and practice what I preach, and it wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna continue to evolve, absolutely, right? And I agree. The world, at least first world, is going to go this way, right?
Yeah, Liz says a little too Jurassic Park for me, and that's what I thought, Liz. When I was thinking about this, it's like how soon until they actually extract the DNA from a dinosaur, and then there's going to be controversy because we're really going to live a real life Jurassic Park,
right? And then instead of McDonald's, it'll be called Flintstones or Brontosaurus burgers.
Another product idea. Write that down for later, y'all. Pay it forward. All right, one man's old foods, another man's composts. Another great one for Jose. Sorry, Jose, you're not here for this one.
So New York City, they actually engaged consulting firm McKinsey into a $4 million study. Maybe they should hire us for $2 million next time.
Yeah.
On how the city might adopt. I like this word, containerization, a containerization program like those in Paris and Barcelona. And what New York City is testing and adding is a series of containers for composting. It's actually it doesn't use the phrase complicated, but it is extremely intentional so that it's hard to contaminate the inside of these containers, right? Because if someone just goes into a coffee cup, then everything
throws everything off, right?
Yeah. So there's a QR code that's on the front of each container that leads to the New York City Compost app, which you then unlock. And so there's definitely a deeper process to doing this. But the thing I thought was interesting, 14 million tons of waste goes to is discarded, right?
Yep.
Goes to landfills from New York. But here's what it says: New Yorkers' limited counter and freezer space to store compost is a barrier to doing it. So to a place to ditch last night's carrot peels on the block could help.
Yeah.
So
And
I
there
like
are some recycle counties that recycle actually compost waste as well, and
right.
it is a little bit of an effort. I'll give you that. Again, I married into a farmer family, and we compost everything, and you have to throw out the meat products and only keep basically the vegetable stuff that breaks down. So
Right.
there's some effort into it, and like this, the people that really want to do it will do it, right? And
Right.
it's just a little bit again to help us. So I would love a show of hands in the chat on who actually composts now, or maybe thinks about it as they do that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Would you compost if
yeah, if
yours
you
did?
had this convenient thing, would
Yeah.
you compost?
Yeah. I think actually
Okay,
an extension to Lee to that is the city then showing, hey, here's how we're using the compost. I mean, it's a little political to think of it that way, right? But hey,
right.
we composted X amount. It's been used in Central Park, yada yada yada. There's sponsorship opportunities, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Maybe.
definitely. Also, it would seem like brands would jump on this too, just to check off their sustainability
Yeah.
box, right?
Maybe Aldi.
Yeah, maybe. Moneyball, man, I'm telling you. All right, a great feel good story, Sean. I just love that, again, you find some really great feel. So this is a TikTok video that, of course, went viral, and sometimes, Sean, you come across stuff that's so sweet. You just have to pass it along, and this is the case. This
Yep.
is a short video. TikTok user Bella, whose handle is My Life as Bella, uploaded while showing her mother and watching a clip of Rihanna's interpreter, Justina Miles, signing the song the star was performing at the Super Bowl. So Bella is actually a child of deaf adults, and she wanted to show her mother the video since her mom skipped watching the Super Bowl. But as it turns out, even if she had tuned into the game, the dynamic interpreter was not shown on the screen. You actually had to go to a separate website to see the interpreter during the halftime show. In the video, which we're going to show you in just a second, Bella's mom is sort of standing there until she realizes what's happening, and then when you see the quick flash of her surprise on her face before she starts smiling wider, it doesn't take for her to start signing along with the interpreter, and by the end she's dancing to the beat. And amazing, Sean. My closest reference to this is how much I used to get into watching the interpreter during Candlelight at Epcot.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some of the best signers there, and you
Yes.
just don't see signers enough, which should be a sign again to us that inclusivity is really important, and to watch the look on this lady's face is just priceless. So I'm gonna show the video here.
Awesome.
It's so cool. I love it when you put those feel good things on. And again, inclusivity is really important, and knowing your audience, and I don't know, it's just really heartfelt. Thank you so much for doing that, Sean. Really great.
And Lee, imagine for technology companies, right, seeing this, and the fact that you couldn't see the person during the regular broadcast, you had to go to a website, right? So that's one issue, especially in streaming. There should be a .2 channel,
Right.
but imagine like a Panasonic creating audio visual kit
Yeah.
for families. Because remember, this is going really old school. Remember the movie Mr. Holland's Opus?
Yeah.
Did you ever see
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, well, his son would sit on top of the speakers, right? And he could feel vibrations from the music. So imagine building out a visual and AV system for folks that could allow them to experience moments like this as richly and deeply as they could.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And please keep putting the feel good stuff in here. We used to do that when we did this at Disney. I want to keep it up because you find some really good ones, man.
I just like to see you cry, Lee.
Yeah, come on. That's funny because I always used to do that to our mutual friend Victoria. I would always say, "No,
Yes.
Victoria, I don't have anything that's going to make you cry," and I totally would surprise her. All right, so that just about wraps it up here for the Inspiration Report. We are so thankful that you all decided to join us and spend your time with us today. We appreciate that you contributed in the chat, And again, we really look forward to doing this every month. If you see something out there, please, please, please send it to us. Sean, if you'll post our email address in the chat, that would be great. And again, please go to our link tree. Please pay this stuff forward. And we will see you next month on May the 5th at 11:30 a.m. And thanks to all the first-time folks that came here. I see Nick out there. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, CoolCat4711. We appreciate you being here. Hopefully you'll come back. We try to have this on the first Friday of every month. Our schedule's been a little bit challenging, so we don't want to skip it. So forgive us if we don't always have it on the first Friday of the month, but we will definitely have it as many times as possible. Right, Sean?
You bet. Yep. We always keep the date up to date on the website, even if we have to change it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, we will see you all next time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.